We are recording.
All right.
Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
We can get our spotlights going here. There we are.
Good evening.
Feel free to unmute yourselves and say hello or introduce yourselves. We've got a little bit of time to wait for everybody to get here, and then we'll be moving forward.
And we are recording, and this will get sent out to everybody. So, be careful with what you share, please. Only what you're comfortable with.
Oh, here's Beta. Hey, Edward. Good to see you. Diana.
Good evening, Kelly. Hello, Jennifer's iPhone 8. Hopefully, Jennifer's attached to it.
And if you are a nurse, please introduce yourself. We would love to hear from you today as well.
Hi, I'm Kelly, and I am a nurse. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for being here, Kelly.
Yes, I've told my colleagues I hope somebody will show up too.
Perfect. We hope so as well, and it'll be recorded so you can always share with them afterwards too.
Great, thank you.
Oh, yay, we have another nurse arriving. Kryn is here, Chuck.
That's amazing.
So
it was fun doing that thing with her.
Yeah, we did an interview with Kryn, who works over at Seattle Children's, and got a lot of really great information about kind of what nurses are actually taught in school for self-care. And learned that it wasn't actually very much. So one of the other reasons why we're doing this.
And that's for doctors too as well. Taught how to take care of everyone else. Taught some amazing skills that help keep everybody else alive. Forgot to teach them how to take care of themselves.
Yeah, totally.
But that seems to be everything. They'll say handle stress. And before I was like, yeah, okay, you're just going to give me stress and I handle it. Never once did I think of asking, do we have any tools for that? Or is it just, grit and bear it, and hopefully you survive.
Kryn, how are you doing today? Let's see if Kryn...
Good. I'm just finishing up a workout before we start.
Oh, nice. Okay. I won't put you on the spotlight then.
That is a good way to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that opportunity to work out, even a walk, something as simple as that. And someone said, well, what if I can't walk up all the stairs to the floor I'm working on? Walk up one flight of stairs and then take the elevator the rest of the way. Start small.
Totally. Oh, is that? Oh, here we go. Gotcha. All right, well, it's almost 8 p.m. and we're just going to be waiting until about 8:05 before we really get started. So at the beginning here, if anyone has any questions for Chuck or I, feel free to unmute and just ask us whatever it is that you want. We are here to spread our knowledge. We don't know all of the best questions, and there is no bad question.
Mm-mm. Or if you have a direction you'd like us to take this today, because you'd see the benefit in your job, please let us know and we will totally facilitate. Let us know where we can take this.
Yeah, I had checked back in with Kryn, and she said that 2 of the practices we reviewed in the interview we did with her last week that were the most effective was the 4 in, 6 out walking and the posture.
Posture is important.
Oh, welcome. Oh, I'm going to have to say. So Barry just joined. He is with Esotico Pasta. He's our sponsor today.
Yes. Thank you, Barry.
Let's see if he's connecting to audio. Oh, no.
He can't hear us yet then.
Yeah. There he is. Barry, welcome. Thank you for joining as our sponsor and owner of Esotico Pasta. There's a Barry that we got to do this today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can hear you. Your Zoom's working, Barry.
All right. Hang on.
You gotta love technology.
I know, right?
Or it's a love-hate relationship.
It's true.
Hello.
Hey, Barry. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm ready for breath class.
Yeah. We got some really good ones today. And I just want to thank you for sponsoring this today and for bringing this and being a part of bringing this to all of the nurses that we possibly can.
Thank you for doing it.
It's very generous. It's I love the concept. Every job is going to be able to apply this just a little bit differently. The right tools for the right place.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's had a long day and you need to stretch, indulge that. Move your body, stretch. Don't just sit there and be static and be like, why am I sore? No, move a minute. It's okay, and your body will thank you.
And Chuck, we can, while we wait here until about 8:05 before we get started, do you want to lead a quick breath work?
Sure. Which one were you thinking? The in 4 out 6 is the one I always kind of default to.
I think that's a great one. Yeah, start with some in 4 out 6. Do maybe a hold on the bottom and a hold on the top after 3 breaths.
Sure.
Do it.
The breath I'd like you to be taking right now is in and out through the nose. And to make sure you're doing it right, you can place your hands on the 2 lower ribs. And when you inhale, you want a lateral expansion of the rib cage. We're going to be breathing in for 4 seconds, breathing out for 6 seconds, and we're going to take 5 breaths. At the end of the 3rd breath, we're going to exhale all the way, inhale all the way to the top, and then go back into it. So don't worry, I'll talk us through it. Here we go. Fully in and out through the nose. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now bring that breath all the way in to the top. And as you exhale, push all that air out. Push, 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 push. You can count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get all that air out. When you're at the bottom, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. At the top, take another little sip. Hold and stretch and move. Let that out to neutral. And neutral is where when you open your mouth, no air has to escape or come back in. And here we go. Back in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was about a minute and a half.
Chuck,
Really take stock of how that made you feel.
Really nice with the breath range right in the middle. Actually, I've never done that before with that, sandwiched in there, and that gives your full reset in the middle of that exercise. Actually, that's really great.
Yeah, I was able to take a deeper breath. I like that, and I'm much
Totally.
calmer and ready to go.
All right, everyone. Well, it is 8:05 in the PST time zone. We're ready to go. And I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Done a little breath startup here. And, we're all here today because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And this is International Nurses Week. So we are here to celebrate bringing self-care techniques to some of the most important people that exist in our communities. Our nurses, our medical community. They're out there dealing with all of the stress and the anxiety. They're taking care of people everywhere. And we just want to say that we honor you and we are supporting you and we acknowledge you for all of that sacrifice and all of that work and all of that care that you give. So thank you.
Very, very much. And we'd like to give you a few tools to help you take care of yourself. We know that you take other people's fears and you take other people's stress, and we'd like to give you a couple tools today to help manage your own, because you are absolutely worth it and you don't need to take all that stress all the time.
Yeah. And today's also the anniversary of the birthday of Florence Nightingale. So this was the last day of Nurses Week, and we're celebrating that as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. So, exactly like what Chuck said, I mean, we're here to impart those breathing techniques and some effective self-care techniques for all of you. And I know there's a few nurses in the room here today. This is being recorded, so we're going to share this with everyone via social media and on YouTube and all of that afterwards. So we encourage you to share this with everyone you know afterwards. And I just want to ask, will the nurses that are on today introduce themselves? Just say hi, where you're from, where do you work, what type of work do you do?
I'll go ahead and go. This is Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, thank you.
Hi. So I'm from Central California, and the type of work, a couple things. One is I'm a nurse peer coach. So I work for an employee assistance program, helping nurses, especially during COVID, with burnout and compassion fatigue and secondary victim syndrome. And so I work as a coach. And then my other job, I've been in education for years, and I got tired of hearing that education was now called the leaky pipeline to burnout. And I went, okay, it's time I better do something about it. And I'm really, really excited to say in the last week, I've created a curriculum. We're training new faculty of all our medical programs. I work for a school that has 5 or 6 campuses now.
Wow.
And we're going to teach new faculty how to prevent burnout and walk your talk and model it for our students.
That is incredible.
I know. So what perfect timing that the two of you are offering this.
Yeah, definitely. Please take anything you possibly can from what we're going to provide today and integrate that into anything that you're doing. We're here to share it.
Well, last week I started with breath work. That was the first of 6 different components. So now I have a good resource.
Totally.
We're happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, and breath work is the foundation of everything we do. No
Yes.
matter what we're doing, no matter what activity, we're breathing. So getting that breath to be as optimal as it can be and sending the signal you want it to send to your body, not unconsciously sending crossed wires.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Hi, I'm Jeanette. I'm a labor and delivery nurse in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I have
being
3
here
kids.
today.
You ladies made my wife's life much, much better. So, and men, one of the nurses, he was amazing. So thank you for doing what you do.
I'm Jennifer, and I used to be a labor and delivery nurse. Funny, I forgot about that. I'm a retired nurse. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I volunteer in the vortex of the downtown east side overdose prevention world, doing harm reduction. I've been doing that for the last 5 years, and I also volunteered an HIV day program doing health assessments for COVID. And I've been doing your breathwork now for several months and absolutely love it. I just before COVID last year, I did a 10-day silent meditation retreat, and my life has never been the same since. So it's all part of it. So when I heard you were doing this for Nurses Week, because the saying is once a nurse, always a nurse, even though I'm retired. So thank you guys.
You said you're retired, but you have a pretty busy schedule from also
True,
what you
yes.
said.
You know what? I don't get paid for what I do. They asked me to renew my license when COVID hit, and I said no, I just want to help. So yes, I've redefined work. I still work very hard. I just don't get paid with dollars, but I get paid in many other ways. So yeah.
Thank you for what you do.
Ah, my pleasure. Thank you for what you guys do.
You are welcome.
Very, very welcome. Just trying to spread the knowledge we have to the people who could use it.
Any other nurses on tonight that want to introduce themselves?
I'll chime in. My name's Corinne. Oh, sorry,
Nice.
Scott. Real quick, I've been a nurse for 6.5 years and work at Swedish Medical Center in Seattle in the float pool for med-surg.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I saw Scott unmute himself as well. Oh, did Scott just disappear?
I think he got disconnected.
He just
Yay, technology.
All right, well, we'll let Scott back in if he comes over. So we're going to move forward. Thank you so much for introducing yourselves, everyone. It's a pleasure to have each and every one of you here. And, you know, there's one other question that I've got here that we have for you as well. You know, for any of you, what was the most effective self-care technique that you've been taught either at school or at work? And whether that's breath work or whatever that is, just to share that with us as a community so that other people can take that on.
Well, I think that's why they're here then.
Share.
So the one I would always use while bartending, and even in the theater, when we would forget our lines when we're on stage or something really big was a scene shift was about to happen, was just stop and pay attention to my breath before I did any breath work. That it was just stop, hold your breath for 5 or 6 seconds, take a breath in, let it go, and then either say your line, move to your place, or serve that next person a drink. But if I didn't have very long to relax, you only have that brief moment between one customer and the next, or one client and the next, or one move to the next. It's just, and move on to it. I've upgraded it from then, but that's the one I found most efficient before I knew about breath work.
Got it. Any other nurse out there that wants to share a self-care technique that they have with the rest of the community here?
Well, I think we should show them.
Well, I know that Corinne had just said that the most support that she had was just sharing with others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I'll chime in real quick. One thing being in the float pool, since you know, I move around different floors a lot, and one of my coworkers told me this is what she does, is before she like moves to a different floor, she gives herself like a positive affirmation, either about herself or about the floor she's going to. And she's like, I think it just helps me set up for a better day, because of course certain floors are harder to float to, and she'll just kind of put that in the back of her mind and say, but they always have peanut butter on the floor. Like it could be that simple. And I've really taken to that, because some floors that are harder to float to, I'm like, Corinne, I know this charge nurse will be there today, and she's wonderful to, or she or he is wonderful to work with. So that's helped me.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So setting an intention and really creating what that floor is going to be, and yeah, putting something in the space.
Even if it is simple as they have peanut butter, find that positive.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know you're about to go to a floor that is chaotic, at least that charge nurse will be there. We've got peanut butter, something to make you smile and step into that chaos with just that little grin. Believe it or not, that grin is one of the best pieces of armor you will ever wear.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Corinne. All right. So, Chuck, let's get into the functional breath and some effective breathing techniques.
Let's do it.
What's the basics that we've got here for everyone?
So as you know, most people say breathing is simple, and it is, but because it is simple and our body always looks for easy, not optimal, we unconsciously fall into suboptimal breathing. And what that looks like is mouth breathing to the upper chest. And instead of the chest expanding, it's rising like a barrel bouncing. And when we breathe like that, we off gas too much carbon dioxide. Our veins and arteries constrict, our blood pressure goes up, we push ourselves a little deeper into fight or flight. So that means we're going to be easy to agitate. When something goes wrong, it's going to be harder to stay calm because we are already sending our body signals to be alert. To combat this, it is actually really, really simple. We breathe in and out through the nose, and we have a biomechanically correct breath. And that means when we inhale, the ribs expand in a lateral movement. In and out. And if you're not getting that expansion, gently push on those ribs. And as you breathe, push against your hands. And you'll find it's easier to access that part of your body. The second part of a good breath is, what is your chest doing? We don't want our chest to rise. You can put your index fingers on the tips of your collarbones and touch your middle fingers and align them right over your breastbone. You also want a lateral expansion of the chest rather than a vertical rise. And that lateral expansion looks like this. And to get it, you can push with the heel of your hand into the side of your rib cage. And as you breathe, push against the pressure your hand's creating. And that is how you take a biomechanically correct breath. If you want to go a little bit deeper, make sure your neck isn't tensing as you breathe in. You don't want it to do this and tighten up. Breathe in nice and soft. Have everything expand. And if you can fall into that breath, either by stopping and taking the in 4 out 6 breath, just take a moment to make sure you're breathing correctly throughout the day. Check in with yourself, check in with that time, and take that 10 seconds for yourself. Catch your breathing, and it really will improve everything. Quite honestly, I wish I could, I'm trying to be dramatic and exaggerate, but your veins and arteries will be more dilated because you'll carry a higher concentration of carbon dioxide. Your resting heart rate's going to drop. Your blood pressure is going to get lower, and your whole body is going to be more relaxed. And there is never a situation where that won't be beneficial, being able to keep your cool and keep your mind, because you're sending your body the proper signal with your breath.
Yeah. So we are the only animal that can intentionally affect our breathing cadence and speed in the way that we do that intentionally. We can literally choose to breathe towards energy or relaxation, sympathetic or parasympathetic, fight and flight or rest and relax and digest. And just the way that we breathe influences that. So especially for nurses who are dealing with stress on the daily, every moment of every day, going through and being there to support people, you have times in between moving from one room to the next room, or when you're looking at a chart, or when you're going to the bathroom, or when you're in the elevator. Take that time to take a moment. And like what Chuck said earlier, take 5 seconds and just check in with your breathing and see, what am I actually doing? Am I breathing towards fight or flight? Am I unintentionally already hyperventilating slightly? Or am I breathing through my nose? And do I have 4 seconds inhales, 6 seconds out exhales? Am I calm? Am I centered? The way that you're breathing is going to reflect in your patient. The way that your breathing is going to stack constantly throughout the day. And if you're breathing in a stressful manner, it's just going to continue to stress you out and create more anxiety.
And
go ahead.
The way you stand, the way you look at your chart adds to all of this. So as we go throughout our day, if we're constantly looking down at our chart or your device and you're always like this, you're telling your body to be afraid. Because if you were to take a side view of me, this is reminiscent of the fetal position. And our body instinctively goes to the fetal position when we're afraid. So if you're assuming that unintentionally, you're telling your body it's time to stress out. As you're walking, your body's just trying not to fall over. If you were to adjust and hold your chart up here, you have a wide view. Your body's upright. Make sure your eyes are parallel with the ground as much of the day as possible. What Chris is demonstrating is you stick your arms out to the side and you wiggle your fingers in the periphery of your vision. This opens up your view, and that one moment will calm you down. Go for that wide view. You'll hear
Go
people
from
talk about,
focus.
in times of great stress, they have tunnel vision. So give yourself that moment to walk out of the other end of that tunnel.
And just for reference for everyone, if you have a question at any time, please unmute yourself, ask it, put a question in the chat. We are here to answer your questions throughout this too. So we're going through what we've got, and if there is anything that you don't understand or something that you want us to dive into more, we have a wealth of knowledge that we would like to share. And also, I guess we kind of forgot to introduce ourselves at the beginning of this as well. Chuck, do you want to take one moment and just give your background of where you're coming from?
Yes. So I was a bartender for 16 years. I've worked in the theater industry for 25 years. So I basically love to mainline stress. Either I was dealing with 300 drunk people or I was working at the bar. And just the level of always having to perform was wearing me down. I've been in multiple car accidents, 2 motorcycle accidents, multiple physical altercations in the bar. And 9 years ago, I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. So my body was wrecked. Thankfully, thanks to a customer, I found breath work. I was able to get off blood pressure medication, reduce the pain pills I was on, change the mood I was in, better manage my diabetes, and
How much less insulin do you take now
about
because of the breath
half
work?
half to a third, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing something like Poland, where it's super extreme all the time, I'm taking barely any insulin. But on the average day, I take half as much as someone my size needs to take.
And that's
And I mean,
because of the
that's,
way that the breath influences sugar levels in the body.
yes.
Yeah.
And keeping the cardiovascular system exercised, cold exposure, helps you become more insulin sensitive. So by leaning into that uncomfortable place, I get to mitigate most of the more uncomfortable symptoms from my illness. So my specialty is helping people with autoimmune diseases, chronic pain, and stress and anxiety management via breath and cold.
Got it.
And Chris, how about you, good sir?
Yeah. So my path to becoming a pulmonaut, somebody who explores the pulmonary system, was one that started when I was born with my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck 3 times. I kind of came into life with a fear of not being able to breathe. And one of my first memories is when I was 2.5 years old, being wheeled into the hospital because I couldn't breathe, because I had an asthma attack / panic attack. So I have been dealing with severe anxiety and panic throughout my life, and going through everything from just eating healthy to meditation to any practice that I could bring in, yoga. And I finally arrived at breath work back about 3 years ago. It took me 30 years to find breath work in a way that it was explained to me in a way that made sense. And so ever since that day when I heard Wim Hof speaking on Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory podcast, I just dove in, changed my career, studied Oxygen Advantage, Buteyko method, Wim Hof method, and have really worked to become an expert in this field as much as I possibly can. It's a continuing journey for me. I have personal coaching practice with some clients, and then also leading breathwork sessions and doing bigger events like this. So it changed my life. I'm able to manage my stress and anxiety, my chronic burnout. I'm able to reverse panic attacks, everything in a way that is manageable, in a way that I did not think was possible before. This is something that if I would have known about when I was 2, or my parents would have known, my asthma symptoms could have been managed in months instead of a decade, instead of 2 decades. So, we see these results happening just immediately because this is an experiential somatic practice that you can feel right away. And that's why we do it, because it works. You got to put
And
effort into it, though.
it's
See that?
it is something you have to do. As much as we can show you the tools, as much as we can give you the tools, unless you use them and familiarize yourself with them in the height of a panic attack or a high stress moment, you're like, wait, what did those guys tell me to do? That's the wrong time to try it for the first time. Get familiar with it before you need it. Practice taking the time between floors with that positive affirmation to check your breath. There's going to be peanut butter up there. Smile, take that breath in. And someone's asked, so a good breath is horizontal versus vertical? Yeah. Rather, I mean, versus, this vertical, where the shoulders rise and it actually compresses the chest and it brings tension to the neck and jaw. You get the nice horizontal, the lateral expansion from the lower ribs and the upper chest.
And your back of your ribs. It's literally, if you think about your body as a cylinder, your diaphragm is like this upside down parachute that pulls down and sucks the air into your body and out when you're breathing in. So your belly should go out, your chest should go out, the sides of your chest should go out, even the back of your chest where your ribs are should go out. With a fundamental functional breath, you're using your whole body, your whole cylinder to really fill that up.
You'll find if you practice this breath, this biomechanically correct breath, apply the in 4 out 6 cadence to it, nice and slow, in and out through the nose, you're going to reduce the tension in your jaw, in your neck, in your shoulders, because your ribs are moving. Your body is moving the way it's supposed to, and our joints and muscles only get nutrients when they're moved. So a lot of people will isolate when they start to get stressed. They'll reduce the movement, and that's just going to compound your stress more throughout the day. Yeah. Make sure your body is moving as it should, that you take time to stretch and check in, and you're not just letting the stress get you and lock you into this position. This is not comfortable. And I see people walking around like this all the time. And they're wearing a mask, so you can't tell. But you can just see it in their posture. And it's in their control.
Yeah. And there's things to think about too. How do you breathe in while you're talking?
Ooh, that's huge.
Do you breathe in through your mouth and talk like this, where you're constantly breathing in through your mouth?
He took 3 breaths to say that sentence.
Or are you breathing in through your nose? And this is something that I took on recently, actually. I noticed that I was breathing through my mouth for pretty much the entire time that I was talking. My energy levels would ramp up. It would be mirrored in the people next to me. Energy levels of conversations would just skyrocket immediately. And people wouldn't have time to actually breathe or talk back to me because I'd start talking so fast. I took the time to change the cadence in the way that I actually breathe. Really thinking about it, really taking the time. It's a different way, thinking of your body like a bagpipe, where you need to have a certain amount of air within there for the pressure to actually speak. It's different when you're talking and breathing through your mouth than when you talk and breathe through your nose. So something to get used to. But you will stay more calm, relaxed, centered. Your CO2 levels will be slightly higher, which is the vasodilator like we were talking about earlier. Your hands and feet will be warmer. Your circulation will work better. Your brain will get more air. And the people around you will mirror your state of being as well.
The doctors and your patients will reflect your calm demeanor. And I mean, really, it can be as simple as just this. And letting that calm breath move into you and spread to the other people around you.
Yeah. It's one of the big ones to think of, is just, it's something that we don't usually bring our attention to. And you can start doing that.
We're trying to put our attention everywhere else it needs to be.
Yeah.
And if you think, this is just one more thing to think about, it is, but by putting your focus here, you will increase the emotional well and how much focus you have for the rest of the day. It will only increase. This is one of those areas that if you designate some thought and conscious attention to, you will actually give yourself more for the rest of the day, not less.
Yes. Yeah. So these are all moments for us to take that stress that's accumulating throughout the day, and rather than end up at the end of the day like Atlas carrying the entire world on your shoulders, you can take moments throughout the day to manage that stress and to release it and to calm it. And Chuck, can you talk for a minute about nitric oxide and nose breathing and the benefits, and just what does the nose do?
So everyone, breathing in and out through your mouth does nothing to condition the air. It's just in straight to the lungs. And if you're not, you're in a hot day or you're a really cold day, you don't get the benefit of your nose actually conditioning the air. You're just sending that air to your lungs. And that on a hot day, you take that breath in and you're like, ooh, that's tender. And well, I can breathe more when I breathe through my mouth. No, you can, your lungs are the same. You can just breathe faster. Faster isn't always better. Breathing in and out through the nose, it'll condition the air. It'll filter some of the pollutants and dust out so that it doesn't go straight into your lungs. Your immune system scans the air you breathe in through your nose so that before it hits the lungs, your immune system can prepare it to fight any pathogen. When we breathe in and out through the nose, we get a higher abundance of a gas called nitric oxide introduced to our respiratory system. It's almost negligible when we breathe through our mouths. But nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which means it opens our veins and arteries. It brings down our resting heart rate. It brings down our blood pressure. It's also antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. So why wouldn't you give yourself the best edge throughout your whole day to not get sick being in a job where you're around sick people? So by breathing in and out through the nose, getting those nice deep breaths to the bottom of the lungs, not just the top here, because I can nose breathe in effectively. That's not what we're talking about. We want the nice, low, slow, and deep breath. LSD. It's a good version of it. In nice and slow. Out nice and slow. And when you hum on the exhale, you increase the nitric oxide saturation in your blood by 15 times. So if you are having an especially stressful day, hum on the exhale while you're doing the in 4 out 6 breath. Fully in, out nice and slow, and hum. Your exhale will naturally lengthen. Do it again, bring it in, hum on the exhale. And if you have a patient who has an anxiety attack or a panic attack or is having an asthma attack, realize Chris and I are not doctors, but Chris is an asthmatic, and I have helped multiple hundreds of people work through anxiety and panic attacks. One of the most detrimental things you can tell them is take a deep breath. And that's because they have unconsciously done a breathing technique known as air stacking. And air stacking is where you take multiple small breaths to fill up your lungs. If you do that consciously, it's a great exercise. If you do it unconsciously, it looks like this. And they say they can't breathe. And what they mean is they can't pull in any more air. They feel that I can't breathe, but they've already got full lungs. So all they have to do is exhale like the exercise we did in the beginning. Find the bottom of their breath and then take that slow inhale back in. And you can help them calm their own body. If they're really getting aggravated and they're really getting caught in that loop, give them a piece of ice to hold in each of their hands. Get that internal stimulus, move to an external one. If you're having a day where everything is just seeming to unravel, go grab a couple pieces of ice and hold them in your hands. Turn that external stimulus to an external one and catch your breath. Take the time. You deserve it. And even if they're like, we don't have time, you have 30 seconds. If it's not life and death, because that's the world you live in. If you can take the 30 seconds to bring yourself down, you're going to be better for everybody.
Yeah. And in those high stress situations, really just while you're walking in between places, while you're taking the elevator, while you're going to the bathroom, anything like that. Practice 5 breaths of 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Or if you even just have 30 seconds, breathe out, hold your breath at the bottom until you feel the actual need to breathe. Because if you're hyperventilating and you're up at the top and you're in that anxious state and you're breathing through your mouth, your CO2 levels are way down and you're not getting the blood flow to your brain, to your body that you need. So by just stopping, oh, go for it, Chuck.
If you have a question you're working on and you feel yourself getting stressed, this exercise is one of the keys to unlocking that question. You stop, you exhale, and you hold your breath until, not until you think you need to breathe, but until your body, you really feel that need to breathe. As Chris said, you increase your CO2, your veins and arteries dilate, you're getting better blood flow to your brain. This is how you figure out that question. You stop for a second. Oh, I knew it all along.
I see it now.
But it's taking that moment to, is it okay to hold breath, breathing air in?
You mean at the top of the breath?
On the inhale? Yes. You can. No, that'll add energy.
It's slightly more effective in calming you if you do it at that. And so we're not saying hold your, okay. Let's do the breath range for a second to just specify. When we say hold your breath, we mean it neutral. We don't mean push out all your air and stress yourself out and hold it at the bottom. That's causing more stress. We just mean take a normal breath in, normal breath out, and just right there where you're fully relaxed, hold it there. And at the beginning of this session, we did a quick exercise where we just normal breath in, normal breath out, and then push the air out all the way to the very bottom. Tense that diaphragm. Count until nothing comes out your mouth anymore. That's the bottom of your breath. Then breathe in. Sniff in to catch the top. Feel that top of your breath. Now you've found the bottom, you've found the top. And then just let it out, relaxed. And that's neutral.
Now, if you're just getting to work and you need to psych yourself up, you know it's going to be an intensive shift and you're like, I'm calm, but I need a little more energy. This is where we're talking about the conscious tools. You can take the breath in, hold it at the top, let it go, and do it again. And you'll feel that energy start to build. Be careful. You can cause an adrenaline release doing this. If your pace gets too quick, you might find yourself going, oh, too much. And that's okay. But realize that this is within your control and this is what can happen. The more you practice with it, the better you'll become at using it. So it's not that it's, okay to hold your breath in any place. It's what are you trying to accomplish and achieve by holding your breath in that place?
Yeah.
The intent is important.
Yeah, the intent is key. You can either ramp yourself up or you can calm yourself down. Calm yourself down, take slow nasal breaths in and exhale 1.5 times the amount of time that you've breathed in, out. That'll put you into parasympathetic. Breathe quick in and out with force and intention. And see how fast that builds your energy.
That energy build. Yeah. And one of my favorite things Chris says is energy within, or breathing through your mouth with intent builds energy. Breathing through your mouth unconsciously brings anxiety.
Yeah.
Use it for its right application. Now that we've told you, breathe through your nose, it'll help keep you calm. I'd like to do some Wim Hof method exercises where you can breathe any way you want. This is a functional, conscious breathing exercise. If you want more energy, breathe in and out through the mouth and lean into that quicker pace. If you'd like, and it'll look like this because it's always a full deep breath.
From neutral.
That's my heart rate's going to increase. I'm going to probably get dizzy. My hands and feet will probably start tingling. And we never want you to do this breath work in, around, or near water. If you're epileptic or pregnant, while operating a motor vehicle of any kind, or basically being anywhere where it's unsafe to pass out. However, If I've had a long day and I need to calm down, I'm going to breathe in and out through my nose with a much longer exhale and lean into that calm state, and that'll look like this. And no matter my pace, there is no pause between the inhale and exhale. And to keep it simple, we're going to take 30 or 40 circular breaths or constant breath. It's in, out, in, out. No matter your pace, it's just constant. We're going to exhale and hold at neutral for as long as you can. Not long as you think you can, as long as you can. And we're going to repeat. Oh, and after that, we take a deep breath, hold that for 10 seconds at the inhale. We're going to repeat that 3 to 5 times tonight.
Yeah. So for everybody, take the time right now to lay down, sit down in a very comfortable chair where if you start passing out, you're not going to fall over and hurt yourself. So don't do it in a non-comfortable chair. If you have a chance, grab some headphones if you can, and take the time to actually just go lay yourself down, get as comfortable as you possibly can. We'll give you about a minute here to go and
take a drink of water.
Yep, grab a drink of water.
And if you're like, oh, I get cold during these, grab a sweatshirt or a blanket.
Yes.
This is about your comfort. You know, people will say, but the Wim Hof method, some of these breath works is about embracing the uncomfortable. Yes, consciously and when we want to. Right now, we're asking you to embrace comfort.
Yeah. And so while we've been saying breathe through your nose the whole time, again, this is where we're intentionally breathing through our mouths or noses, whatever you choose. You choose your destination, set your intention, breathe through the nose for further relaxation, breathe through the mouth to push into that state of energy intentionally. There's a chance for us to expand our boundaries with the breath and to really go to the gym with the breath. This is something that we do, once, twice a day. It's not something you do all the day. Otherwise, you're going to wear yourself out really quickly.
During the breath hold, if you need to breathe before I give the signal, that's okay. We are not competing with anybody. Take that breath in, hold it for 10 seconds, exhale, and fall back into that circular breath work. We'll catch up with you. And realize that the pace I set or the pace Chris sets is just that. It's our pace and our rhythm. Our goal is not necessarily to keep up with us or mimic us. It's to find that rhythm that feels inherently correct for you right now, knowing that it can change from round to round. We are not chasing any sensation. We are not forcing any emotion. We are going to try and just breathe as if we are natural observers, keeping the breath constant and surrendering to the moment and appreciating what our body is showing us today. So relax, stretch, get comfy. And I'd like us to start slow. We're going to breathe fully in. We're going to let it go. We're not going to force. Think of this as the train leaving the station. It needs to pick up speed. It needs to find its rhythm. So bring the breath in and let it go. Move if it feels right to do so. Yawn. And form an intent. Would you like to have more energy at the end of this breath work? Would you like to be calmer and have a good night's sleep? Breathe into that intent, fully in and letting go. If a faster rhythm feels right, flow right into that. If it feels better to extend that exhale through the nose, then that's your rhythm for right now. There is no right way or wrong way to breathe. There's just your way and this moment. Take your breath fully in, let it go. Five more breaths, and we're going to hold at neutral on the exhale for the first time. 5, 3, 2, last one, fully in. Exhale to neutral and hold. Relax your jaw and shoulders. Your arms down to the tips of your fingers. Releasing the tension in the rib cage, lower back and stomach. Letting the hips relax, and letting that sensation move down your thighs to the tips of your toes. And enjoy the space you now hold. And even though we may be apart, we are not alone. Because all together, everyone, we take that breath fully in and hold. And let it go.
We'll resume cyclical breathing one more time. In and out, like a wave of the tide. Find that pace that's right for you. And just breathe. Breathe and relax. And just let yourself go. Let there be nothing but the breath as you follow it all the way in with intention and out with relaxation. Breathe with intention. Breathe towards your desired state. With no pause between the inhale or the exhale. Or the exhale and the inhale. Cultivate that breath. And explore your breath. Bring in that curiosity. And renew yourself with each breath. In and out with the waves, the tides. You are in the most perfect place. The only thing that you need to be doing right now is breathing. Let each breath carry you away as you rise up and down, up and down. Keep breathing in and out through the nose or the mouth, whatever you choose. If you feel tingling sensations, it's all part of the process. Move your body. Make whatever sounds it is that you feel like you need to make. It's the time for you to express yourself. We'll go for 3 more breaths. In and out. In and out. Last breath, all the way into the very top this time. All the way to the very bottom. Force that breath out, tension that diaphragm. Back in and out to neutral. And hold your breath. Let your thoughts flow. Just let yourself go. Find that space, that expansive space that's within each and every one of us. Just sink into the ground. You are connected through the breath to every single human being. And now in 3, 2, 1, take a deep breath all the way in to the very top. Catch that breath. Relax your shoulders and your chest and your back and your arms, your entire body. Hold and feel that rush of oxygen as it hits your system. And let that breath go and let everything go with it.
Nice and steady. That rhythm resumes. Whatever feels right for you right now, let go of how you think you should be breathing, how you think you should be feeling, and just follow the breath in and let it go. We are our body's pilot, not its passenger. Fully in and release. If it feels right to yawn, to stretch, that's okay. Fully in, let it go, and indulge those feelings. Fully in and release. Nice and steady. In and out. Finding that rhythm that is right for you. There is no way you're supposed to be feeling. You just let the breath come and go and surrender to this moment. Fully in and release. Like an ocean wave, the breath comes in. You feel it expanding the belly, the chest, up into the shoulders and the head. You let it go and you bring it back in again. There is no right rhythm. There's just your rhythm right now. Bring it in, let it go. I like to say expression is the opposite of depression. So if you feel like making some noise, stretching, shouting even, just let it go and let it occur. Nice and steady, the breath comes and goes. Fully in and release. We're going to take 5 more breaths and we're going to hold for the 3rd time. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, fully in. Let it go and hold. Relax into this space. Embrace this stillness. letting the mind float deeper and deeper inside. If you find any tension, any stress, lean into it and let it go. All together, we take that deep breath fully in, hold it at the top, keep holding, and let it go.
And we'll go right into our next round. Find that cyclical pace one more time. As you begin, be gentle with that breath. Find the pace and breathe towards your desired state. In and out. In and out. A wave with the tide. Find that breath. And give yourself over to it. Belly, chest, chest, belly. Bring in that curiosity and just breathe. See what you can cultivate. As you give this time to dedicate and create your breathing. Three more breaths. In and out. In and out. Last one together, everyone, all the way in. And out to neutral and hold. Let your thoughts flow. Let everything go. And just be with everything that is here right now. awareness melt into your body. Bring the relaxation from your forehead and let it expand outwards in an ever increasing spiral to engulf your entire body. Through your head, down through your neck, your shoulders and chest, your upper back, your lower back, through your pelvis, down through your legs and all the way to your toes. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take a deep breath in. Hold at the top. You can tighten your lower abdomen just a little bit into your central chest, up into your chest, to the back of your neck. Tighten, squeeze just a little bit gently. Feel that pressure through your whole body. And in 3, 2, 1, let it all go. And rest at neutral. Rest at neutral and let any thought of breathing flow by. Rest at neutral and wait for this next breath to breathe you. Listen and look for your body's whispers. Feel the first movement of that breath as it comes. Not the first thought, the first feeling. When that breath comes, let it surprise you and follow it in on an adventure. Allow that breath to lead you. In. Allow the top of the breath to surprise you. When that breath turns around, experience full relaxation. Allow that breath to turn into that exhale and follow it down, slowly following the breath, or however it comes, to a deep relaxation once again at the bottom at neutral. Let the end of the breath surprise you. And for the next 3 breaths, just follow your breath. Let there be no intention. Let every thought flow. And just follow that fundamentally balanced breath. This is the breath of enough. This is the biomechanical breath of enough, and the biochemical breath of enough. This is what you can return to at any time. This is the balanced breath. Trust your body. It knows how to take care of you if you allow it to. Practice this breath anytime you can to find that balance and to center yourself.
Slowly move your fingers and toes, bringing your awareness back to your body. Let that movement spread into the wrists and ankles. Move into the elbows and knees, Finally giving your shoulders, hips, and back a nice big stretch because it feels so good. One of the best places to practice that exercise is walking from one place to another. Hold your breath.
Following one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, so much for your time and attention.
It's a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. Take your time to return. We're here to hang out, to answer any of your questions that you have.
One that was asked is any tips of breathing practices for people who are experiencing breathlessness? One of my friends got COVID and is experiencing breathlessness. She is all right otherwise than being breathless. That breath hold we just talked about is one of the best things she could do. So have her hold her breath and see how long she could hold it for. If it's 4, 5, 6 seconds, she should only be practicing in 3-second increments for holding her breath. I think that's the COVID protocol on, was it page 73 of the Breathing Cure? 72, I was off. Page 72 of the Breathing Cure by Patrick McEwen. He's got rehab techniques for COVID patients. One of we were talking this morning with Rob Williams of Peak Flow, who said that, there was a group working at Mount Sinai, and they have been finding one of the best rehab techniques. One of the only ones that was working, he was saying, was breath work.
Like, what do you know? If you work out and rehab the respiratory system, it helps with the effects of the respiratory illness that's been going around.
And if anyone has any questions, please ask away. You've got us here for a few more minutes. We understand that some of you may be starting your shifts, so thank you for coming.
Yeah, it is 9:08 PST time, in case anybody needs to know that. We did go a little bit over today, so thank you for being with us. I'm going to post in the chat a whole bunch of resources for you all, links, books, everything that we recommend. We're not sponsored by any of these products or any of these books or anything like that. We just know that they make a big difference for people. So copy that. It's been a lot of research been put into that for everyone. I got to put the Myo spot tape stuff in there too. But yeah, please take a look at that stuff. Read it if you're interested. Bring this knowledge to the patients that you're working with. Find the COVID post-care protocols for care that are in the Breathing Cure. You can also look them up. I believe they have them on the Pacheco Clinic now.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know off the top of my head.
I'll have to check. It's in Patrick McEwen's book, The Breathing Cure. There's stuff in there for it's everything. It's 200
Damn
pages
near
of
everything.
breathwork practices and 300 pages of research. So if you're into learning, check it out. It's an incredible book, along with all the other ones that we have in there. I mean, yeah. And if anyone has any questions, unmute yourself, ask away. We're here.
Hey, gents. I had a, oh, sorry. I had a quick question for you both. I invited a couple of my nursing friends here tonight. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it because, surprise, they had an overnight shift. So gotta love the shift work. But I appreciate what you guys did tonight for our nurses. They're really struggling right now, at least up here in Ontario, anyways. Is there any way you guys could share this, because it's a really good primer, and they would be interested? It's just, they would need to do it on their own time.
Totally. So we've recorded this whole thing.
Okay.
Number one, what you can do is whoever wants a copy of this sent directly to their email, put your email in the chat right now. We'll send you a copy. We'll upload it to Facebook and as well to YouTube. So we'll be able to share that with everyone. So you can take a look in the event later. It'll be there, and we'll have it posted everywhere we can. So send us your email right now. We'll get it to you directly. Otherwise, we'll have it on Facebook and social media afterwards.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
And
Would-
Chris, I have one more request along that line is the resources that you put in the chat.
Mhm.
For some reason, I'm having a hard time getting that on my phone. And can you post that? Those
Totally.
resources?
Yeah,
thanks.
I'll post that whole thing into the Facebook event.
Mhm.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, and anyone that wants a direct copy, just go ahead and put your email in the chat. We'll send it to you. I'll send it to you along with that resource list as well, actually.
Mhm. And if anyone else has resources that they're like, hey, this helped with me, you guys should check it
Yes.
out. We won't, there's so many things out there in the world. We will not know what's out there unless people share it with us. That's the joy of bringing a community together and supporting each other. By sharing our knowledge cross-disciplinary, we can help and reach more people.
Yep.
So, you know, send this to anyone you think will help. Ask any question you feel you need answered, or if you need to ruminate and think about it, reach out to us. We'll happily answer it.
Yep.
If asked.
Yeah, I'm also going to put, so if you send us your email, we're not going to sign you up for a mailing list or anything like that. If you want to be on the mailing list, you can go to the link that I'm putting in the chat right now also and sign up for it yourself.
And on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific time, on Wednesdays at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, and on Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I lead breathwork every Sunday and Monday at no cost besides your time and attention. Every other Monday, Chris is playing music for us live. Chris leads live breathwork every Wednesday morning at 6:30 a.m. We do a Q&A before and after. So please attend, ask questions, participate in the community that's there for you. There is no cost simply because health, strength, and happiness are the right of everyone. And we're just trying to do our best to spread that out there in the world. So
And
there's
I'll
a tribe waiting
also
for you.
put those links in the chat to those 3 no-cost breathwork sessions. So in the email that we'll send out to everyone, we'll have the links to the 3 breathwork sessions, all of that content that I put in the chat about the resources, and a copy of the recording.
Thank you all so much. That's a great question, Steve. Thank you for asking. He says, is it good to do this breath work before sleeping, or is it best in the morning? Yes. It is suggested to do it in the morning, right when you wake up. That's when you'll have one of the best effects for your day. But if you had a rough
On an
day,
empty stomach.
That's
most of the time.
If you've had a rough day, doing this breath work before bed, it helps me sleep like the dead. So it depends on the day I'm having and what I feel I need. So just listen to your body. If you're like, I need to do breath work before bed, then that's totally a fine thing.
Yeah, and if there's anyone that wants to share even just, what they experienced or what they felt during the breathwork session, it's something that I really encourage people to share with others. The more vulnerable we get about this and the more we can share our experiences, the more that others will see the impact and start taking on these practices too. So if anybody had an interesting experience or just wants to share what they felt, what they experienced, how they're feeling now, how they felt before, after, any of that stuff, unmute yourself, give us a comment or put something in the chat. It's a safe community, and we're just encouraging people to take this on. And we all have our days and experiences, and the more we can connect, the better it is for all of us, especially during this time.
Speaking of time,
Thank you,
thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. And I want to give Barry also one moment here just to introduce himself one more time and give us a little bit of info about Esotico Pasta. He was the sponsor for tonight. I'm going to add you to a spotlight here, Barry, if you've got a moment.
Sure do.
He's kind enough to support us and to sponsor this whole event. So thank you very much, Barry.
Thank you, Barry. I think you're muted, good
You're
sir.
muted. There you go.
Great. So I want to acknowledge Chuck and Chris for taking the time and being our breath coaches today. And also I want to thank everybody who attended. Really appreciate you. And also, I'm acknowledging all the nurses around the world for all they do and all they give. I appreciate you. And this day, this class is for you, and there will be more. So thank you very much.
Where can we find delicious pasta?
Oh, okay. I'm based out of Wilsonville, Oregon, and we sell pasta all over the world.
And you have keto pasta.
Online. Yeah, soticopasta.com. You can find me, and you'll find me in multiple farmers markets around the Portland area, and you'll find me in different grocery stores. Go on my website, and you'll see all of my points where we offer it.
And Barry, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have keto pasta yet? Or is that something?
Not yet,
Not yet,
but it's coming.
You have gluten-free. It's like handcrafted, the most best ingredients you could possibly get. I mean, it looks amazing.
Yes. So all over, we use primarily ingredients around the Willamette Valley. And I don't have gluten-free now, but it's coming.
Got it.
So we've got some exciting things that are coming down the road. Right now, we have 18 different flavors of gourmet, artisan, handcrafted pasta.
Your vinegar's on point too.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Barry. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's our pleasure, and we'll be doing more. I'm going to ring us out.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.